Yeah.
Yeah, please.
A very warm good evening and welcome you all on 16th episode, the You Nurse Talk Show. Thank you very much. This talk show is actually a real example how a thought become a dream and ultimately dream become converted into the action. And now we are actually I should say that we are actually leaving this dream. And today we are celebrating our 16th episode together. And I'm hoping we will be celebrating our 100th episode together with the same love, same appreciation, same critic. And every time people keep asking that, do we need to do, are we going to get this certificate out of this? No, I'm so sorry. Because here we are not giving you any academical information. It's all about that. Definitely it is totally related, and this whole show is about the whole personality development, which is integral part of our professional development. So sincerely apologies to those candidates for disappointing them for not providing the certificate, but I hope that whole personality development and the interesting chat, evidence based, and the way we are putting a difficult concept with the real masters in the simple way. I hope everybody will be enjoying that. With that small introduction, today's concept is professional accountability, one of the very important concept as a professional nurse or for any professional. With that note, I request my team please introduce themselves. Krish.
Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Thomas, working as assistant professor from Global Nursing College, Mount Abu. I welcome you all to this show.
Yeah. Dalma.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our show. Hope you all will have a very enriching session. Welcome again.
Thanks. Rekhadi.
Good evening, everyone. Myself, Rekha Anil Kumar, a passionate nerd, more than 24 years. Thank you very much and welcome to the show.
Shri ma'am.
Huh. I'm Sri Devi and I am a nurse. And welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Uma ma'am, the you of the show. Because you have to unmute her.
She's not there, I think.
Oh, great. It's okay. So with that note, we are
Geeta is still sick?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are starting the show, and today we are having a lovely master on the show who is again going to tell us the professional accountability, one of the a topic which is usually I would say that people get having a confusion, and people keep calling accountability and responsibility interchangeability. Well, this time the master will be letting us know that how we can understand the right meaning of accountability. Moreover, how can we be accountable for our own actions? It is not about only the nursing profession. Definitely all the trait which is needed to develop ourselves as a professional, it is also needed in our personal life as well. For example, when Florence Nightingale decided to be and serve the Crimson War soldier, nobody asked her to do that. She took it. So accountability is something which we accept by our heart, with our thought, with our actions. So when we are totally synchronized with that work and then we are doing that work, then definitely we are accepting that thing, and definitely we are answerable to that, whether that work will be good or the bad. The result, we will be the answerable for the result of that action. Whereas responsibility, we sometimes we are more passive than the active, but definitely in both sense we are working. But in what sense we get more acknowledgement and more, we can call it in simple language that strong responsibility on the accountability, whereas in responsibility we are the worker. Maximum time we are working and doing just our responsibility, and we are thinking that we are also undergoing the process of accountability. But today in this show we are going to distinguish this two separate terminology, and hopefully at the end of the show we will be a better accountable nurses. over to you, ma'am. So today's master is Captain Sunita Fernandez, Deputy Nursing Director, Ruby Hall Clinic, Pune. And a brief about her, she is one of the, presently she is working as a Deputy Nursing Director, which I just said. She's alumni from the Armed Forces Medical College, and she's master from Kiel Institute. And one best thing about her, she's very charming and energetic personality, which I always admire for her. Well, over to you, and thank you very much, ma'am, for accepting our invitation, and welcome to the show on the behalf of whole team.
Thank you very much, Rupa. It's a pleasure to have been associated with you talk and then for the nurses. And it's a pleasure to know that there are so many leaders who have taken this opportunity. Uma ma'am, Sridevi ma'am, Chris, Rekha ma'am, all of you. I'm so grateful to all of you that you have accepted my talk on a few thoughts that I would like to say about today's accountability and responsibility. When I go back to the days when I was a young trainee nurse, I remember in 1987 that I joined this profession, not knowing what to expect. What is this profession? And then I had to join the army, and it seemed to be a tough life for us as students, but it was a wonderful journey that today I am because of what I learned from my college, my teachers, my training, the discipline, and the patience, blessings, and the love and care that all of us have been able to give to our patients. The accountability for each and every patient, no matter how many patients we have taken care of. A ward of 70 plus patients, but each and every patient is my patient. So that is the accountability where I started my career in this profession. Being from the armed forces, we have a variety of exposure to different hospitals, different experience of different kinds, but we learned that we have to be accountable no matter where we go and what we do. So I want to salute all of you, a great salute to each one of you, and kudos to all the hard work that all the nurses are putting in during this pandemic. And it is our time. God has given us this responsibility and accountability. So like the definition goes, that accountability is taking or being assigned something that you have, something you are supposed to do. And you got to report, you got to give a feedback that this is a job that was assigned to me and you are answerable for your action. And it is specific to an individual depending on your skill set. And no matter what, it is self-driven. There's no doubt about it. It comes naturally. Taking ownership, initiative, it builds a trust. Your patient, like for example, when a patient comes to the hospital, it may not be, you may not have the time to talk to so many people. You're doing so many jobs, so many, attending to their patient care needs, plus investigations, taking the temperature, vitals, monitors, saturation, so many things we got to do as a nurse. But you can also be polite, kind, giving rewards, feedbacks, timely rewards, even if it's, going beyond your call of duty. Nursing, I did not know what it meant when I joined, but I believe it's a call, it's a vision, a mission. Not everybody has the opportunity, and when you're given this opportunity, you have to step up. And this year being the International Year of the Nurse and Midwife, and we salute all the nurses for all the hard work and the accountability and responsibility that's on your shoulders. When we see accountability, it is like the responsibility as well. So accountability and responsibility go hand in hand. It is something that accountability is not an option. And we salute all the nurses. Sorry, can I go ahead, Rupa?
Yes.
Accountability is not an option. It is a necessity. It is like clarifying and aligning your roles. The right man for the right job, right people doing the right work. When you are accountable, your patient develops a trust, it builds a trust, it improves your performance, and it promotes ownership. It inspires confidence. And when we talk about accountability in every phase of our, like when you're taking an over. So if there was a patient fall, take ownership. This is what happened during this my shift. The junior staff should be able to hand over each and every aspect of the patient care to the next shift. Many a times, many things do not get handed over from one shift to another shift. They do not, they are scared because today each and every action of the nurse is monitored, is complaints do come, there's a lot of reporting. So underreporting does happen because of fear and not taking responsibility for your actions. If you make a mistake, you should own it up. A nurse should be able to say, yes, I made a mistake and I own it up. So when you are accountable, it gives.
Ma'am, you're muted. Ma'am, you muted. I don't know how. Please unmute yourself. Yeah. Ma'am, we really wanted to know some of your life incident, when you faced that, nurses could have done much better if they understand this difference between the accountability and the responsibility.
Yes, when we were in posted during my posting in one of the areas in labor room, I remember.
Ma'am, you are muted.
She's muted. How to tell her this? She's muted.
Is it okay now? Hello?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, yeah, audible.
Yes. Yes. So when the staff, they do not, hand over. Sorry. They do not hand over in the shift to each other. And then they are like not accountable. One says, I do not own up if I make a mistake, if I don't write the right intake output chart. So in a labor room, when we had to shift a patient, we are doing all the internal examination, and you are responsible for your patient. You know what to do, but when you're doing the PV, you do not understand, because there are hardly very few doctors we do have. So most of the internal labor room patients are handled by the nurse independently. So you start Pitocin, you do everything. So when I was on the duty, I said, I can not make out what is this internal examination. We could not find out, but finally when we did, we could make out that I was the one who detected that it was a face presentation, and so then it was way beyond our duty hours. I, along with my team, we rushed to the OT along with the doctors and informed the gynecologists immediately. We all were there. We did not know, we had not assisted. We were just very junior, just freshers. We did not know what to do. So we were just assisting the surgeon, because somehow we had to get the baby out. And so we stayed with the patient in the NICU with the baby, with the mother, monitoring them till both of them were stable. And then we could, go back to our hostel. So I remember those days where, it was very challenging, and it was a very challenging experience that we faced as young nurses. So accountability is not just leaving your role just because you feel that I cannot take this responsibility. It's a responsible job, but at the same time, when you're accountable, you are in with the organizational goals. You have to understand that this is my job and I got to be there with a patient no matter what. I tell my staff as well, you're dealing with human life and you need to give your 100%, to your patient. So there are some ways where you can promote professional accountability in nursing. There are some ways where you got to be clear about your professional role, responsibility, and organizational goals. Accountability provides a direction about how your work should be accomplished. It develops a clear standard against which professional performance is measured. It holds professionals accountable for their behavior, and it builds a culture of accountability. So how you can increase, ways and means to promote your professional accountability as a nurse. So I would say that you should read to lead. When you read, when you lead, you are a person who knows exactly as a nurse how you have to deal with your patient, how you have to be accountable for the kind of care that you deliver, the quality nursing care to your patient. So Rupa, with this, I would just like to, give you a little example of various, in a, like a patient fall did happen once in our unit. And we found that because the nurse was alert, the relative was also there at the bedside of the patient, but because the nurse was alert and she stood there when the patient was wanting to get off the bed, and that averted an accident which may have caused when the patient would have got down from his bed. So she took accountability for her patient, the 5 to 6 patients that were allocated to her, and she did her best to see that this was noted down, documented, and reported. And we have an incident reporting culture, which is a good way of reporting about each and every incident that takes place in spite of the mistake. It would have not been her fault, but sometimes from the patient. Sometimes they may not use a call bell for whatever reason. The patient would be a little, disoriented, unable to, call for help, and not even wanting to disturb the relatives. So that's the reason why this fall did happen. And we appreciated the nurse for reporting, the reporting culture that we have started in our hospital. And we have asked them to please be very, responsible and accountable. When you're accountable and responsible, it goes hand in hand. When you take the responsibility, you have to be accountable for your job, right? So these were some of the things that we have encountered I have encountered during my experience. And now I see young nurses, they are very apprehensive, to approach the patient, to talk to the patient at the bedside, because they do not have the skill sets. They need to develop their skill sets. They need to talk, communicate. Communication sometimes is a barrier for nurses during their clinical practice, and patient care, sometimes it gets affected because of, knowledge is insufficient, sometimes medication errors, they do not read the right, prescription, they make mistakes with the, mg and international units and these small things, which are very, very critical for every patient, and every patient, the safety of the patient is our responsibility. So I would like to give you some take-home message.
Actually, we'll take your take-home message later.
Yeah.
I really wanted to ask you, because you're having a diverse experience from the armed forces to the civilian, and now you are in a corporate hospital. So
Yeah.
I really wanted to know how you see a difference between the accountability and responsibility, how the armed forces nurses take it, as well as we, being a civilian nurses. So I really want your, views on that. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thanks, Rupa. Yeah, it doesn't matter whether you are from the armed forces or from the civilian, but you are a nurse. We all are nurses, right? But we have a different way of discipline, trained for each and everything. We have been trained to adapt to the changes, to, our seniors, lot of supervision, accountability for each and every patient, each and every action, and feedback. And a feedback which we do have in the civil sector also. It is not that we do not have, but the kind of accountability that today's generation, I can say, they feel that we have to just do our job and we have to go home. But they do not go beyond the call of duty. Like earlier, we used to see, whether it was civil, whether it was army, anybody from any walk of life, the nurses basically gave that commitment to their job, to their call, But nowadays, I do not find that kind of setup. There's some of the children, some of the students, and some of the young nurses are dedicated to their job, but they are not so motivated as they used to be in the past.
Yeah.
But all the same, not everybody is that way. There are most of them, they are very nice, they're very polite with the patients, they're very caring, very loving, and they also go beyond the call of duty whenever asked for. But sometimes they have that motivation is maybe sometimes we got to push them as leaders. We need to push them. We need to tell them, yes, this is
That's
your
what
job.
I just wanted to ask you, ma'am. As a senior leader, how do you think that how you can teach accountability to your staff? Because we know we nurses are very responsible for our work, and we are doing that. So I really wanted to ask you, how you inculcate this trait among the nurses when they join your institution or organization.
Yeah, so like I said, we do have an induction program as they join in, and we put them onto the job only after they are confident with they observe for 3 months under supervision. Then we put them onto the patient care along with their buddies, along with their seniors, and they are made to feel at home. They're not scared to report any incident or any mishap or anything which they felt very uncomfortable during their clinical practice. So we make them accountable for your patient. You got to come and give feedbacks. You got to revert to their patient, be at the bedside, spend more time talking, communicating with your patient. And also we have leaders who observe, keep the in-charge sisters, the senior supervisors, the nursing superintendent, all of them, each one of them, they do take the initiative in teaching, incidental teaching, at the bedside clinical teaching, and also giving them the confidence. Yes, you can do. This is your first time you're giving an injection or an intracare, which I think today is the need of the hour. One prick you have to get the intracare. There's no doubt about it. In one prick, it has to happen. But this is, kind of an quality of a hospital, or the patient looks at, ye sister achhi hai, kyunki ek prick mein ho jata hai. So now when you want to be that confident, you got to work hard for it. So we put them onto training again and again, practice on the, we have the simulators. So we practice on that. Then only they are confident. And when they go for any procedure, the seniors also accompany them, give them the confidence. Yes, go ahead. I'm there. I will support you. Yeah. So they take accountability for their job. They know that our seniors support us. So they are very happy that, the seniors are looking after them. We have a very good culture of reporting. Our seniors also take very good care of the junior staff. And everything all round, even in the hostel, all round development of the junior trainee nurses, and graduate them to becoming full-time staff nurses and senior nurses as they go, climb the hierarchy, escalating any incident or any untoward incident that did happen. They escalated to the higher, to the higher leaders, to the managers, so that they know that there is somebody who they will be also accountable for their actions. So first they take accountability, and then they are getting that confidence and trust from their seniors.
Yes.
So yes, that is how we do in our setup.
Yeah.
Rupa.
One of the very important and valid point which came out of your discussion, ma'am, like shadowing, that's very important. And I
Yeah.
really want that you should just little tell more about that, because, mentoring is slightly different than the shadowing. In mentoring,
Yeah.
sometimes, it can be passive, it can be active. But the way you said that, senior is just running behind to the junior and they are teaching, and it's more of encouraging, appreciating. That
Yeah.
appreciative inquiry is one of the another new skill, how you can teach your juniors, subordinates. So I really want that you should tell a little bit about that, how, as senior leader can be
Yeah.
a better mentor, can be a better shadow by
Yeah.
appreciating quality. Yeah.
Yeah.
Over to you.
Yeah, we do appreciate our juniors as well as seniors also. Only juniors we cannot, we have to appreciate the seniors as well. So all in the hierarchy. So we do appreciate, because, by seeing what we do, our juniors also, they will emulate the same kind of behavior. So our behavior reflects on our juniors as well. So if we have a culture of always complain, then the juniors will feel also that we are not being appreciated. So we do have this every in our quarterly, we do have these batches which we have for the best nurse of the month. We ask them to put it up on, for that month, and we do have appreciation certificates as well, that they have worked for this month, and they, why, for the reasons on a particular day that like suppose Nurses Day, Founders Day, we give these appreciation certificates, plus they wear those badges. So they feel that they are accountable, they are responsible, they are having a culture of appreciation. They do not get negative vibes, the negativity does not come into their workplace. They the seniors also encourage, even if there is a mistake, we encourage them to report any mistakes. And also not all the time the blame game, it's not me, it's somebody else. No, you have to report when you made a mistake, be honest. And quality is something about doing the right thing when nobody is watching you. So I always say there's God watching, God above, he's watching you all the time. So you cannot make a mistake. And if you make a mistake, own up for your mistake. That is very important for us. That is what, as good nurses, as juniors, as seniors, we got to encourage them to own up for their mistakes and report in case they are not confident about themselves, they cannot do a particular procedure. We got to encourage them. Okay, come, I'm with you. Some hand holding, shadowing, the buddy system, then, talking out, counseling them, each one of them separately by their in charge, by the seniors, and making them feel comfortable in a new environment, especially the juniors, and also the senior leaders, encouraging them that whatever we are doing, we have huddle meetings, we talk to each other, what better we can do to improve our juniors, they're appreciating them, their behavior, how we can improve their skill. The skill set is very important in nursing. So if you have a good skill set, your hands have to work. You have to work with your hands, feel with your heart. So if you do not, use your hands for your skill, for your procedure, unless you do the intravenous, cannulation, you cannot get the confidence to do it. You do it once, you do it second time. So that is how we learn. We do it on the simulators. We have, the practice teaching them in floor-wise at the ward level. Whenever they are free, we ask the in charge to have smaller groups. They have smaller teams so that sorry, so that they can they get the group. They work as a group. So now and then we do this test. We give them test also to test the knowledge and the skill. So practical skill, whether they've done the procedures well, IV cannulation, now suppose there's a needle stick injury. People think most of the people, nurses in a hospital will be blamed. You are the one who put that needle there. You are the one who's responsible. How did that patient care attendant, the PCA or the other, grade, what you call those Aya, Maushis, the grade 4, how did they get the needle stick injury? So we blame it on the nurses all the time. But we have to even train them that they should not pick up a needle. It is a nurse who will, at the source, discard the needle. Whenever she is doing a procedure, the doctor, the nurse, the PCA, all are accountable and responsible for their procedure, right? So this is what I would say from my side.
Yeah, a very valid point, ma'am. You raised that, accountable, especially a needle stick injury, doing the procedure, but at last, discarding your own, all the needles, which is a major cause of the needle stick injury when, we work on a clinical setup. So now I really wanted to you raise a very valid point that that non-punitive environment, the work culture, where junior, subordinate, even the senior should know that if they committed some error during their clinical work, so they should come up and say rather than hiding that. That's one of the valid point. And as you are an NABH assessor, so one thing which we keep telling that don't find the error because of the men. Usually people keep looking for that faulty people, like you did it. Yeah. So that derogatory comment, I really want that, please, being a quality assessor, you should at least give little your views on that, especially as you have spoken lots about errors. So because usually what happen when we are nursing and clinical practice, if something happened, the first thing which come in our mind, oh, it's because of me or because of her or because of him. So that culture has to be abandoned and has to be removed from our workplace. Yeah, over to you.
Most of the time we all have the blame game. We blame the other department, or we blame another person, or a junior, or a newcomer, a new joinee, that she was responsible. So I would say that we are all responsible as leaders. If your juniors, are making a mistake in any procedures or in any way, we got to train them that we are here to correct you. We are here to teach you that nursing is a very important and integral part. The nurses are a very integral part of a healthcare system. If you are not there, I do not know, the responsibility of the hospital is on your shoulders. So you got to step up to your profession, to your job, take the responsibility, have a culture of reporting at all times. Do not have any punitive, always talk in a positive tone. The way we talk to our juniors, our commitment, the integrity, the honesty, we imbibe them by us being, being role models for them, right? So a culture of always being helping, we should be people who like to help another person. But most of the time, people do. I see the nurses, the junior nurses, they're scared to tell their senior. The senior says, "Let her learn. She has to, do it on her own. It's her responsibility as well. She's also accountable as much as I am." But sometimes, the hand holding is very important. Every individual requires some time to phase out from a trainee to a, under
Professional.
supervision, without supervision, and then, working independently. So we have to graduate through a different phase in every organization. We have to, when keeping in mind the goals of the organization, we have to start with the reporting culture, incident reporting, talking, counseling, encouraging any good practices, best practices.
Ma'am, you are muted.
Yeah, sorry. So we can encourage them to do small studies at the clinical, at the bedside, take up if you find any patients with bed sore. So we have a push score, that is a pressure ulcer score for healing. So we do on the number of outside bed sores. Patient have come from outside the hospital with a bed sore and has gone with healing in a healing process by monitoring the push score. So by monitoring this score, we have found that many patients have gone home without a pressure ulcer. It has been healed completely. And so the staff also, the staff, junior staff, they feel very appreciated when we call them. And I do tell them that, with your very good care, patient came in a very critical condition, and by your intervention and your every 2 hourly turning the position, air mattress, giving the back care, everything possible you have done. And so the patient has gone home without a pressure ulcer. So these positive outcomes, patient clinical outcomes, are very necessary to encourage them in maybe when we have the in-charges meeting. So the in-charge is also motivated. My staff has done a good job. So they also feel motivated by their juniors performance. Right?
Thank you very much, ma'am. Well, now it's a time that we take a questions from the chat box, and the question which we are already having. So one of the very nice question is, what is the difference between responsibility and accountability? And I just wanted to read out, if you permit me, a very beautiful answer by the Sridevi ma'am. Like, being present for 8 hours in your work area is responsibility, but doing and completing everything, including documentation, answering query, even after your duty, is accountability. So as you have already explained it so beautifully, what is the difference between accountability and responsibility? Apart from that, would you like to add something, ma'am? Yeah, it's you. Sunita ma'am asking, I'm just asking you. Would you like
to sorry.
Add? Yeah, it's okay.
I thought it was for Madam Sridevi.
No, I was just reading. This is a chat message.
Okay. Yeah. So the responsibility going beyond the call of duty, that is what accountability and responsibility go hand in hand. So if you are liable, you are answerable for your one's action. It is self-driven to be accountable, but responsibility, you're doing the task, but you may not complete it. You may not have that accountability with responsibility. With responsibility comes accountability as well. Both, they go hand in hand. So is that okay, or anything else you want me to add?
No. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
So with that, I am just going for the next question. That's on my mobile. Yeah.
Like, I would like to add, Rupa,
please, ma'am.
Yeah, responsibility also can be delegated to another person, and it is like having authority over one's actions and obligation. You have to perform, like responsible. But accountability is also very interrelated, that you got to do, your action is you go beyond your call of duty. You stay beyond the document, like you said, documentation. You complete your documentation. You stay back for the patient. You maybe you need to do some procedures which you are given the responsibility, but you go beyond the call of duty. You stay. You complete your documentation, and you show that demonstrate accountability as well. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
There is a question, Rupa, there that for Sunita, how to train juniors for to become accountable. Actually, I think Sunita has answered this question.
Yes.
And I just want to add, like, Sunita can take time to answer maybe, so I'm just giving her a second to think. Role modeling is one big way to make people accountable. If I don't see my senior being accountable, I just copy that. But if I see my senior doing something beyond the call, that's one of the biggest ways you can do, because children see what their parents do, nurses, junior nurses see what their senior nurses do. So, you know, it's just a snowballing. It is nothing. You can't teach this, honestly. There is no chapter called accountability teaching. It is something that you have to observe and learn. So Sunita, you can continue. Thank you.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Thank you. I would also say that, you know, your juniors have to be people who are responsible for their job as well as accountable. When they're responsible, they're given a task and they know that their seniors are there to observe them. They will automatically perform for some time, and then they will start behaving like you. Sometimes I can hear my words with what my juniors talk. Sometimes it's like, I feel very happy because I'm hearing my language with my juniors as well. So in some way you feel you're responsible in a good way, like in your communication, like how I communicate, I hear the same communication from my juniors, because they're role modeling your behavior. And then you got to show the way as a leader. You have to go the way, show the way, and you have to lead from the front. There's no doubt about it. You cannot just sit back and, you know, you have to be like the captain of the ship. Don't let your ship sink. You got to hold on to them and encourage them, give them your best advice and counsel them. If they're wrong, you positive reinforcement, as well as make every staff or nurse or senior leader, junior leaders, managers responsible for their area, as well as accountable, giving feedback, timely rewards, and spending time for your team, spending time in training your team, developing the seniors, maybe language skills, communication skills in healthcare is very important, as well as observing their practices, and any wrong practices is like not a punitive culture, but reporting culture, which is a positive way of teaching your juniors that you have somebody to support you and guide you in the best practices for your patient and quality of patient care, right?
Rupa, you are muted.
Thanks, Krish. There's a very beautiful comment, and I can see on the chat box also that people are actually understanding that accountability is something which cannot be taught when somebody become a professional nurse. So, you know, it's a high responsibility on trainer, don't you think? And as a parent, it is high responsibility on us to teach our children responsibility and accountability at home front also.
Yes.
Are you agree with me, ma'am?
Yes.
And especially when students are joining first year?
Yes, definitely. Yes, I used to be the first year class coordinator at some time. And I remember these 6 steps I used to tell my staff, my students, that first of all, when you join this profession, you should know your role. Okay, what is your role? Be honest. And if you made a mistake, say sorry if you made a mistake. Use your time wisely. Don't be over commitment. If you cannot do something, do not commit yourself to it. And reflect end of the day, just reflect, sit back and think, have I been accountable for my job today? Am I responsible nurse for my whatever behavior? I'm responsible, and I take onus for my actions. So some of the practical personal qualities in imbibing in this new joinees, new trainees, new students who come into the profession, and you got to give your 100%. If you're here, you got to give your 100% to your patient care, to your training, to your, whatever you are in. Give your best. Give your 100%. There is no shortcut for hard work and sincerity. You have to put yourself in the patient's place. Think that the patient is one of our family, and we work as a family. So every patient's health is your concern, and it is on your shoulders.
Yeah.
So mentally and physically, you got to be strong. You got to get, you got to step up and be strong to take care of your patients, right?
Yeah. Thank you very much, ma'am. And I remember that Shri ma'am, put up a very beautiful point, is role modeling. And as people are asking that how you can inculcate accountability in other. So let me tell you, until unless we are ourselves accountable, we cannot make other accountable. So
Correct.
how do you think that at your workplace you become a role model for your subordinate, juniors, and even for the seniors, because accountability is something which we can learn from our junior also.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. So whenever we go on the rounds, we meet the staff, we talk. Basically, when you talk, you make them comfortable. You give them a feeling of being wanted, belonging to this team. You belong to this smaller group, and you belong to a bigger organization. So keeping in mind the organization that we are working for, we got to give your best for your patient and your patient care. So they have to get that confidence, and it builds a trust. When you're accountable with your juniors, we learn from them how to build the trust, how to build a trust with a rapport with each other, with your patient, with your seniors. So communication is like, the barriers for communication, we can make them feel that they are comfortable, they can express their concerns. End of the day, they can talk to their unit in charge or their senior, DNS, nursing superintendent, and escalate any matters that they are not comfortable with, that they could not practice today. End of the day, I was not able to do this procedure. The reasons for not being able to do this procedure, and how best we can do it in the next time that you do this procedure. So we help them to express themselves in the best possible way without any fear. Yeah.
So the very beautiful concept you actually just spoken, the healthy, happy, collaborative workplace, which I can understand that it is needed for making our nurses more accountable as well as responsible. Like, we should not talk about the responsibility right now because we know enough about the responsibility, but definitely I do agree. What else you do at your workplace, ma'am, like non-punitive actions you said for raising the incident? Another thing you keep talking about, that workplace, how you manage and make your workplace more happy for a newcomer nurses so that they can feel inclusive in that environment.
Yeah, that we see a lot of newcomers. They come new to the place, so first we make them acclimatize to the place, so acclimatize with their hostel, with the surroundings, place, give them rooms according to their friend circle. So they like to work in their friend circle. So then maybe duty timings, some want, that they want to be with their friends. We make some adjustments with their duty timings, with their workplace, the food. So we speak about their food. What do you like? What thing we can do better to make you happy? We find that maybe you do not like this kind of food. You're from a different state of India. So we do this ourselves with our team, and we ask that please ask your team. Maybe they speak to their in charge, like mother, talk to the mother very freely. So sometimes they are more comfortable with speaking with their unit in charge or their team leaders. So what you would like better, when you get some particular food, or we can change the menu. So I speak to the dietitian, I speak to the the warden, the timings of going out for a little, things like this. I personally take initiative with them, go to the hostel, have some little fun games, fun time with them also. So they feel, yes, we have a good, and when they're sick, go and see them, just talk to them. I know you're away from home, so can we just help you? You got to be well for our patients. You have to be well if we have to take care of patients. Because here we are in healthcare, we're taking care of sick patients. So you got to be mentally as well as physically well. So these are small initiatives that this kind of practices, and report to us through the seniors that, ma'am, these are the things which we have done, and they felt better, that they get the confidence to practice. And when they are in the clinical also, the seniors go with them, they support them in the patient care. Sometimes they cannot communicate properly, sometimes the juniors are very scared when the senior doctors come on round. So how they can be confident to take for those patients, as well as the number of patients that are given, the documentation. If they cannot complete the documentation, what is incorrect, where we can improve. Some nurses' notes, sometimes they forget to write certain issues like pressure ulcer grading. Maybe it is not the right measurements. So like that, they will just guide them, the seniors. And when I also go, I check on their documentation, which they can write, they can do better. Because everybody, the dedication and the responsibility is not there with everybody. Everybody wants to finish their task fast because they got so many tasks to do. So responsibility goes, along with accountability as well. And I would say that during this pandemic, we have been given the responsibility as well as accountability. And this year, the International Nurses Year, as well as Year of the Nurse and Midwife, as well as it's a 200 birth, So we have got this very good year. I can say it's one of the best years for us nurses. We have the responsibility on our shoulders and the accountability for our patients and for humanity, and therefore for mankind. So I would say that we are very lucky that we have got this 2020 as a year to deliver to our patients who are sick and who are dying and who need our assistance, right?
Yeah.
So in 100 years, this pandemic has come, so we are like in history. So I always tell my team that after 100 years, we got this opportunity for this pandemic. We did not know what Corona is. We have learned what COVID-19 is, what are the management, and every day it is changing. The practices are changing. We are evolving with the technology as well as the recent development and advancement in the management, in the treatment regimen, everything which is changing by the day. So we are learning from this year, especially, which we never thought. It has taken us aback, but it is positively for the good of our patients that we are learning. We are giving our services, and I think we got to give 100% at this time. Yeah. So with that, I would, the take-home message that I would like to give my junior nurses, as well as seniors and our leaders and all of us. All of you are doing a great job. You are fantastic. You are an angel, a corona warrior. I would not say a warrior. You are the angel with a beacon of light for the patient, for the patients, and for their families, and for the community at large. Right?
Yes.
Yes, Rupa.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It was a lovely session that you included, though it was a very difficult. And let me tell you, accountability is something which is actually difficult to teach, because it's a more of a practical skill rather than telling how to do it. It's more of how to express it with your action, with your word. Let me tell the accountability that I was feeling little nervous throughout the show. And I was just wanted that somebody should be there to back up, and that is how, you know, my team come up and they rescued me. So, you know, it is something like sometimes I am responsible for this show with my whole team, but at the same time I'm accountable to giving you the best quality show every week. But it can happen, we are human beings, sometimes we are drained with the energy, and I was feeling like that, and suddenly Shri ma'am and other people come, and you know, they actually take over me, and I really felt good. So I would say, you know, it is not bad idea to speak your problem. You know, it is always a good idea to speak but the thing is that start, you know, we keep saying that young nurses are not accountable. We keep saying that young nurses are not passionate, though I am from a group where neither I'm young nor I'm old, so I'm a bridger. So I keep calling myself, I'm a bridge between the seniors one and the junior one. But let me tell you, somewhere somehow we are away from ourselves. We don't know what exactly we want. So I request all the youngsters, I request all the faculty over here, first of all, we should teach this. Yeah, and moreover, as a parents, this is our responsibility to keep our children little closer to themselves. It is a high time that we should go for self-exploration, self-discovery. You know, we should know what exactly we want. And when we understand ourselves, then it becomes easily to understand the other trait, because these traits no institution can teach you. You know, these seeds has to be sown at home. If you really wanted your you know, your children should be responsible, accountable, successful, so you have to start, you know, sowing these seeds at home. You have to give a work to them. Ask them whether they have completed or not. I'm so sorry, yesterday when I was talking to ma'am, and she actually raised a very important point. We usually allocate or assign work to our subordinate, any person, but we have a good tendency to forget the follow up, you know. And that is how, as a senior or as a, you know, assignment giver, I am losing my accountability. I didn't take that whether you have done it and what you have done in that particular work. So it's my responsibility or my accountability to that particular work which I have assigned to somebody, and ask what is a follow up and help them to improve their work. So I really want Shri ma'am, because she will be the one person who can give a better take home lesson than me. So I request, as I told you. So over to you, Shri ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Rupa. So thank you, Sunita, for giving a clarity on the concept of accountability. In a way, it is hard. At the same time, it is something that we can describe. So a few things that I would add to what Sunita said is, like, for nurses, we could make them, actually we could give them education. Many times nurses are not accountable, like Sunita already mentioned, probably because they don't know what to do. They know they have to take temperature, but they don't know after that what to do. They forgot all their nursing process by the time they became staff nurses. So telling them that if a patient has fever, you were taught that you should do cold compress, or you can do a tapered sponge, keep the patient comfortably, make the clothes light, keep the temperature, you know, so many nursing actions, you know, keep the room temperature low. You don't have to run to the doctor for everything. That is not accountability. Sorry, if everybody who are listening here, please, the moment you see a problem, go report to the doctor is lack of accountability. There are so many things that nurses can do. So if you did that, and then at the end of it reported that I have done tapered sponge, and in spite of that the patient has got high temperature, do you think we need to give a medication? Those kind of things are called accountability. Continuing education can help in this case. And we can also be, so from the school period itself, like from the young age, we should be telling everybody to be accountable, but also being very supportive. For accountability, the next message is that we need to be supportive. If we are not supportive of each other, then accountability doesn't, being scared and lack and do not report. So accountability requires a lot of support. And like I'm saying, like Sunita or whoever is the boss of Ruby Hall, or when I was a director nursing, if my director administration or my medical director or my CEO called and said, this patient has complained, the first person who answers is me. Because finally, every nurse, even the deputy nursing superintendent onwards, the 600 nurses that I employed, I am the final point of accountability. So accountability is a huge task, but at the bedside also, each nurse and every action should be accountable. So if, for example, if a patient tells you that the bed sheet is dirty, very easy, oh मेरा डिपार्टमेंट का काम नहीं है, वो लॉन्ड्री वाले ने खराब दिया, उसके लिए मैंने एक शीट डाला, मैं क्या करूं? See, the way you shout, the way you blame, the way you don't be, I mean, this is lack of accountability. Now, what you could do is, I'm sorry, I did not see that the sheet was bad. Please, if you give me 5 minutes, I will change it for you. And then, yes, report to the laundry or whoever is responsible that I had this incident and I had to face this unpleasant thing because of this. Next time, please be careful. So they will also note that, yes, you have been, and you have saved the situation and been accountable. Nobody wants to listen to complain. Let me tell you, whether it is the administrator, your personal people or your patients, the moment you start blame game, okay, let me tell you what is not accountability. The moment you start blame game, you are not accountable. If this is clear, then you know what is accountability. I think that's enough from me.
Yes.
Rupa, you are unmute. Please unmute, Rupa.
Thank you, Krish. Thanks, Atan. Thank you very much, ma'am, for adding these points. It's actually a value-added point in whole talk. And thank you very much, Sunita, ma'am. It was a great that the way you come up with the multi examples. It was not only a one area example. You have taken every area example. And moreover, let me tell you, I hope everybody would be agree with me. Apart from the accountability, one more thing we learned today is the best practices at workplace. And that's a more needed actually, how we can make our workplace a happy, healthy and collaborating culture, the shadowing, role modeling, how that's a beautiful part. I really appreciated when the new staff come, we respect their choice. Usually what happened when I was in nursing, when we enter into the professional life, so it was like whatever duty you are going to ask, we are not going to give you because we are preparing you words for the future. Let me tell you, give us some time, give this new budding flowers to bloom, and once they are bloomed, so तूफान से लड़ने की ताकत उनको खुद मिल जाती है. With that note, I really wanted to take the opportunity to invite you for the next week, same time on you the Nurse Talk Show. And once again, I really wanted to thank you, Captain Sunita ma'am, for accepting our invitation, be on the show and share your precious word of wisdom with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.